Market season is right around the corner, and as someone who spent 2023 perfecting her displays and market techniques, I'm excited to start sharing all of my tips and tricks with you. Today I'm sharing my favorite market display that I take to every single show. It's this standing pegboard easel that I display my stickers and cards on, and I've even used it for journals and notepads and other things like that. It's a very easy display to make. You just need a handful of materials, a drill, and honestly not even any measurements. So yeah, let's get into it. First things first, let's talk about supplies. The most important thing is the pegboard. This is going to come in a 2x4 sheet from your local hardware store. Some stores have it in white, and then other stores are gonna have it in a dark brown hardboard color. My preference is the white pegboard if you can find it. I know Home Depot has it. Lowe's tends to just have the brown color. If you can only find the brown, that's totally fine. You can just paint it white or whatever color you want. I like to do white because my stickers are very colorful, and this is just a nice neutral background. Next up, you're gonna need wood. These are 4 pieces of 1x2 by 6 foot wood. You'll notice that it's taller than me, so I am actually going to cut these down by about 8 inches because this pegboard is going to face the aisle, and if I were to put a pegboard this tall out in the aisle, then it would block the rest of the view of my booth. An optional step, you may want to seal your pegboard and your wood, and I would definitely recommend this if you do a lot of shows, just to make sure that what you're about to build doesn't get damaged. Other tiny supplies include a 180-degree locking hinge. I 100% recommend this specific hinge. I'm gonna link it for you. This is because other hinges I have tried don't fully close all the way this one gets completely flat. You can use a chain, but the issue with that is that if someone kicks one of the legs, there's nothing like stopping that chain from going in on itself. So this hinge is like solid and it locks in place. So it's not gonna make the legs like close in on each other and have your display fall, and we don't want that to be a disaster. And that's not the only hinge you need. You also need one of these strap hinges for the very top. It's gonna connect your wood up here, right? Okay. Last but not least, you're gonna need some screws to attach everything. I like these 1 1/4 inch machine screws that come with the nut. There we go. However, if you want to be able to easily disassemble, like if you don't have a lot of space when you're traveling, I would recommend swapping the standard nut for some wing nuts. So I picked some of those up as well. And lastly, the one power tool that you need is handy dandy drill. So let's get to building. So my dad just cut this down by 8 inches for me, and I'm gonna go ahead and seal the wood before I get started. This isn't like a labor intensive process, so you can definitely paint, seal, whatever before you assemble without risking damage to the work that you just did. The pegboard that I'm using is like a PVC plastic pegboard, so it doesn't need any sealing. In the past I've used wood pegboard and I have sealed that. So if you have wood pegboard, which most of you will, definitely go ahead and seal it at this step too. Also, a side note on painting and sealing pegboard, because of all the little tiny holes, I would definitely recommend spray paint with primer as your method of painting, because going on with a roller, you risk clogging the holes up. Ask me how I know. It has happened. Once anything that you've done to your wood and pegboard has dried, you're gonna lay the wood out just like this, and we're gonna attach these strap hinges. So once you're done with that step, you're gonna have 2 pieces that look like this. This is gonna form your easel legs. Now we're gonna go straight back to the floor with these, but we want them to be laying down the opposite direction, so with the hinge facing the ground. And then you're gonna wanna spread them out by about 2 feet. Go. Now we're gonna grab our first pegboard and we're just gonna position it on these legs that we just made. So they're lined up over here, this, and we're just gonna scoot this. Now the most important part is to make sure the top of your pegboard is lined up with where the wood ends over here, and I'll show you. So you just want it to line up like that. It would be awkward to have this like excess hanging off at the top. Now we need to drill through this wood in order to attach the pegboard, but remember the hinge ends about right here. So we're gonna take the drill bit and drill through the wood right here where this 4th hole is, and then the bottom one down there. So I'm drilling with a 1/4 inch drill bit, and then instead of making pencil marks and drilling, I like to start it by placing my drill bit in the hole and then starting it. And then just using those marks that are then there to drill through the rest of the way. Okay, so we're gonna lay the pegboard back down on top of the wood that we just drilled on, and we're gonna attach it using some machine screws and wing nuts or just regular nuts. So now we have this is gonna be the front side. We're gonna do all those same steps on the back with one key difference. If you don't want a double-sided pegboard, that's fine, but make sure you brace the back with like some steel rods or something like that so that it's nice and sturdy. Okay, so here it is with the other one added, and we're gonna make those same marks and drill, except instead of going on the 5th and last spot, we're gonna go on the 6th and 2nd to last spot, and that's just so it's offset from front to back so it folds up nicely. I was kind of struggling to get the wing nuts on after having the pegboard on, so I'm gonna try something different and lay the pegboard flat on the ground and then lower these on to the pegboard and then screw the wing nuts on that way. We'll see what works better. Now remember we did the 6th one and the 2nd from bottom, so that's where I'm gonna put my screws. So doing it this way was a lot easier. I guess it's just your preference. If you have someone helping you, both ways are probably fine. It's just the first way was really fumbly, and I almost hurt my hand. So pick your poison. Okay, and here's our double-sided pegboard. We're gonna stand her up and then add the 180-degree hinges to attach the front and back to each other. I'm just gonna turn it on this edge so that I can easily access the other edge. I laid it down at the width that I want it to be at when it's fully extended, and that way I can just attach the hinges from this side. So here's the locking hinge. We just need to lay it down wherever the length is good. And I'm just gonna say right about there. Gonna do 2 pilot holes. And then screw these into place. We're gonna flip this guy over, and we're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. Try to get it as close to the same spot as possible, just so that it will be consistent and fold up nice and neat. So here she is, folded nice and flat. Not really sure why this is sticking out, but it is what it is. And then we're gonna just push these down. Put her all the way back here so you can see her. And there she is. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, and now it's ready for traditional pegboard parts, or I have some custom market pieces available in my shop soon, or they might already be there by the time you're seeing this. I'll link them if that's the case, but I hope this was helpful, and good luck with making your own pegboard.